We are now recording. Hello!
Hey guys!
We're back!
Yeah, enthusiasm.
The hiatus is over. It's over!
Sorry about the wait.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
No, it was not. It was, it was both of us. Because the holidays, and I'm sure everybody is, well rested. They had a good new year. 2017, the awful year is over.
I wouldn't say awful.
There's some pretty awful stuff that happened.
Well, I mean, there was not a lot of good stuff.
Right. But now we're 2018. It's a new year. You survived it. And we're going to talk about some stuff that we have been saving up for you guys. Been wanting to talk to you about it. As always, I'm Tim from Precarious Pixels.
And I'm Bob from Precarious Pixels as well. And I can say it without stuttering.
That's right. Oh, man. So, starting out this year, of course, we're going to talk about big spoilers, if you haven't seen it, which you're probably the only one who hasn't seen it by now. Last Jedi. I'm going to start right off. What is your opinions on Last Jedi?
I have some strong opinions, but the easiest way for me to put it would be it's a filler episode.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Just okay. It's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just okay, fine.
I mean,
that is probably the best I've ever heard it recommended to somebody else. Should I go see this movie? It's okay, just fine.
I mean, you'll see some stuff you hadn't seen yet, and then you'll be ready for the final one.
Where J.J. Abrams comes back and says, hey, you threw out all the stuff I put in the first one.
You did throw out all that stuff, but you had time to add in a Yo Mama joke.
Oh my god. Wait, where's the Yo Mama joke?
It's at the beginning of the movie. When,
are we talking about the Poe coming up?
Poe Dameron,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, for the first 5 minutes of Star Wars Episode 8, which you've seen, he does this interesting thing where he does the "Can you hear me now" bit from the Verizon commercials.
It's very true.
And at the end of it, when General Hux is his name, finally realizes that he's being made fun of, Poe Dameron says, "I have a message from your mom."
Yes, that is true. He does say there's a message from your mom.
There is a Yo Mama joke in Star Wars. And I think that the major problem I have with it, with Star Wars in general, Episode 8 especially, like this one, is every single one of the films, whether they talk about, how sand gets everywhere.
You will not bring up prequel stuff.
But
it's true.
But we'll work with it, right?
Yeah.
Or they're
midichlorians.
Yeah, the midichlorians.
Jar Jar.
It doesn't matter. They were all timeless. They never felt like they were made in 2017.
Okay.
Or 1977. But this one did. In 5 years, I'll be like, why did he make a Yo Mama joke? That was relevant 25 years ago.
Okay. I'll give you that, but I'll also raise you... Well, not raise you. That's a weird way to put it. I don't know why I put raise you. These movies are never ending now. Star Wars, for a time, after he finished Return of the Jedi, he was like, I'm done with Star Wars. With prequels and stuff. That hadn't happened yet and stuff. So I think that kind of this series will ever end now is kind of off the table. So there is probably going to be more current humor that speaks to a certain generation and not to another.
But I don't think anything about 77 New Hope spoke specifically to that generation, and that's what made it great.
Okay.
So, in 20 years, I want to be able to say to somebody, check out this awesome film that I saw when I was a kid. I know you've never seen it before. Maybe, to my kids, whatever.
Right.
And my kids would probably look at me and say, what? To this one.
To this one.
To this one. But I don't think they'd say that to any of the others.
Okay.
They might say it to, this is stupid, to Jar Jar Binks stepping in bantha crap.
Yes, or getting his tongue like electrocuted and going numb.
But that stuff makes sense to a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that stuff would make sense to a kid 40 years ago. He'd laugh at Jar Jar Binks stepping in crap.
Okay.
And 40 years from now, an 8-year-old's still going to laugh at Jar Jar Binks stepping in crap. But not the rest of this movie.
Okay.
And I especially take issue with the fact that they introduce characters for no reason. Aside from,
Wait, okay. Which characters for no reason?
Well, Rose.
Okay.
And
now this is a point that we disagree on. But I think you have a good point. But
well, there was a reason.
No, I go ahead. What is your reason?
There was a monetary reason.
Yes.
Episode 7 was a huge success in China.
Yes.
And I think Disney stepped in and said, hey, you know what? China likes these movies. And China's a huge market.
Okay.
Why don't we bring in an Asian character? Because there were no Asian characters in Episode 7 that I can remember that were...
But there was in Rogue One.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But there was also... But who else was in Rogue One? You have to also remember...
Rogue One's cast looked like the class in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Very diverse.
Right. It was literally this group of people from all over, which Star Wars should be.
Yes.
Right.
Especially since it is sometime, I don't know, far in the future, far in the past, we don't even know. But
it was a long time ago, Tim.
And there's aliens and stuff, but apparently everybody is white in the universe, except for one dude, Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, and one dude's voice.
Yes. But turns out he was apparently the whitest person of all.
He was albino.
Yes.
He was whiter than Hux.
Yeah. Oh my god, Hux. Redheaded stepchild of the Star Wars universe.
He is.
But I actually like Hux and Kylo Ren's relationship.
Yeah, I like that rivalry.
That they really kind of like just... It's like he's reaching for that gun. Just he's lying there. Spoiler alert, but there's a part where Kylo Ren is like unconscious and Hux is standing over him and he's just reaching for his gun, but then Kylo wakes her up and he's like, oh man.
And that's the thing, like there's some greatness that shines through, which is the only reason I don't say the movie's bad.
Right.
Or even mediocre. It's just like it's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
It just won't be Episode 5. It'll never be Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, to me, anyways, is probably the best Star Wars movie.
Most people would agree.
Yeah.
This will never be remembered as the best one.
Not the
probably
best one.
Even of this trilogy. Nobody will ever say, I love that moment where this happened. No.
Okay, I see that. I disagree.
Because
I agree that they added a more diversity to a cast because that is the times we live in. They're not playing, because that's also a Disney thing that is, we're not playing just to an American audience, but also a world audience.
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
That character was...
I liked Rose.
Okay.
Because she's a newbie. She's still kind of like, got the stars in her eyes. Like the whole thing, she very much fangirls on Finn, which I think people can relate to a little bit. A younger generation can relate to that a little bit more. Like, being very excited and, part of the rebellion, blah, 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 which is kind of what Luke was in A New Hope in the first movie. He was very like, I can take on the galaxy, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And I think that kind of worked. But not in the way like that. I know that you're trying to say like it's just for, we want to add in.
It's just for that.
Okay.
I mean, they wrote a character and they wrote a script. Do I think she was added at the last minute? Yeah. I think a month from shooting, they decided, hey, you know what? We need to add in Benicio del Toro.
That I could see.
And you know what? Let's add in this character Rose because we need to make this some sort of weird love triangle thing.
Okay.
Where there's somebody with, from what I could tell, zero interest.
Okay.
In Finn. Like Rey, I don't think cares about Finn aside from like a friend level. He's definitely getting friend zoned.
Yeah, I kind of think that like that is kind of a thing which I don't know how they're going to address that, which it is kind of like she does care about him, but like, again, it's friend. I think Finn cares about Rey.
Yep.
But then I also think Rose being introduced is kind of like an interesting, weird love triangle with, like, you do have somebody who does like you for you. You like somebody else that probably just wants to friend zone you. So it's like you're chasing the wrong person. I could get that. I could see and understand.
I also have a problem with the fact that both of the sisters in the movie being Asian.
Yes.
Is Disney being extremely racist when they say both of them are willing to commit kamikaze?
Okay.
Because two different ways.
Uh,
One kills her, sacrifices herself
all right.
to take down a ship.
Okay.
And the other attempts to sacrifice herself to save somebody else.
True. I don't know if she was planning to die, but I know she was attempting to stop
She
Finn.
seems to not be doing too good right now.
Yeah. But I don't think that she was trying to kill herself. I think she was more trying to save Finn.
She wants to be a hero.
Yeah.
She wants to make a difference.
Yes.
And I totally get that.
Okay.
Which is exactly what put Finn in that position to begin with. He wanted to be a hero.
Okay.
So is Star Wars Episode 7 through 9 just going to be people sacrificing themselves to be a hero? Because Episode 8 was all about making sacrifices.
True.
And from what I can tell, the director seems to think that war on both sides is bad. Because his perspective seems to be that of DJ.
DJ.
Which is Benicio del Toro's character.
Is that his name? Was it DJ?
It's DJ. And it stands for, if you do some research into it, it stands for Don't Join.
Okay.
Which is written on his stupid hat. In space speak. I kid you not. If you look at his hat,
I'm sure it does.
it says "Don't join" in space speak, based on apparently an old album cover that the director had seen when he was a kid, or a T-shirt based on an album cover, or something to that effect. And it's just war is bad on both sides. There are no heroes, which is the opposite of everything Star Wars has always been. There's good, there's evil. That's the way it worked for 40 years.
Right.
Sorry, Ryan Johnson.
But I also think he was trying to say something else, like the part where they go to the planet where it's like the people that sell the weapons, but they sell them to both sides. See, I found that kind of interesting. I was like, oh, this guy makes weapons for both sides.
They're profiteers.
Yeah.
I get it.
And is that going to be something that they're going to explore? I would actually have found that interesting, like...
Oh, I'm sure he will in his trilogy that he's been given.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy. So obviously they knew this is a success.
Well, it was Star Wars, it was a success, but it was... I don't think, critically, it's anywhere near the success Episode 7 was.
It's definitely made the money.
It's made the money, but will people go see... People saw this because it was Episode 8.
Right.
Right? Rogue One didn't do as well as Episode 7 when it came out.
But it still made some good money. And I guarantee
arguably as good as Episode 7.
Right.
I probably liked Rogue One more than 7.
Yeah. I thought it was a great... And again, it's probably the most wars of Star Wars I've ever seen.
Yeah,
of battles and like everything they did. Like it was very good.
Until like the last 5 minutes, there's no force.
Yeah, there's no lightsabers, there's no nothing.
Yeah, and then there's that one scene which all the fanboys love.
Of course.
But there's the rest of the movie, which I just think was a great movie.
Really good. Interesting
characters. Forrest Whitaker is there for like no reason, but he's awesome. Everybody in it does a great job.
Yeah.
Diego Luna, who we'll talk about later.
Okay.
Was solid. Like everybody's good in the movie, and then they make this, which is just I don't know. Like it's just it was a filler episode, and I say that based on what Netflix shows or
right.
any TV show. Where you need to get from A to C, and you need to just kill time.
Okay.
Because it probably should have been J.J. Abrams made 7, he made 8, and that was the end of Star Wars. the Skywalker saga, or whatever they're going to end up calling the 9.
Yeah, because I have a feeling that's what it's eventually.
But that's what it was.
This was the, well, and however they're going to explain Carrie Fisher's character not being there for the last one.
I don't think they need to.
They're going to have to. They're not going to CG her in.
What are they going to say? She's
They're probably just. I'm guarantee you in the scroll it is going to be something like several years.
On a cruise.
No, yeah, on a cruise.
On a cruise.
She passed away in her sleep, surrounded by her friends and family.
She's up in a farm up north.
Her and Chewie decided to get married.
Oh, please, just have her and Chewie run off together. Han was in the way all the time.
Would be the best. They have Wookiee children.
Well, there's still a lot to do with what happens with her and the future for all of the characters.
Yeah.
But I also have issues with the changes they made to canon. I don't know when the ghosts started being able to interact with the real world.
That is kind of like a weird thing.
I also don't like the mentality of Yoda saying just burn it down.
I do get that a little bit. But I also see that happening was important. Like it is kind of like that thing of, this stuff is meant to help you a little bit, but don't go treating it like sacred, like it's completely sacred and that's all you need to do. You need to actually be out in the world a little bit. Like, just get off your island. Get off your island and do something.
So what you're saying is the idea behind this was forget the past.
Right.
It's time to shake things up. So what would we be saying about Star Wars based on this? What's the difference between... Basically what they said was, hey, forget Luke. Forget Leia. Forget Han. It's time to shake things up, guys. We got these other clowns,
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but also these actors, I mean, with Carrie Fisher, passing, I mean, this is not and even...
They probably killed the wrong part of that relationship. Maybe they should have stuck out with Han.
I could see that too, but I have a feeling the bigger important thing is that if they're going to keep going with the Star Wars movies, you need more than just those characters. And honestly, Rogue One was kind of the best example. The only Skywalker that shows up in that whole movie is at the very end, and it's for 5 minutes.
2 of them.
True. 2, and again, for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, one for 10 seconds.
Yes. And I thought that was good. I was like...
That should have been, to be honest, I would have been happy if she wasn't even in 8. If they just cut out the stuff she had recorded.
Yeah. And honestly, I thought it was kind of interesting that they didn't just... there's a part where you think she's gonna die.
Oh.
And then
Tim.
the Force...
Let's not even talk about the Force
powers. I thought that was... I was like, alright, I get that. You want to do it that way. But that would have been... pulling off that Band-Aid, right then and there. But then I was just
they could have just done it.
They could have just done it there. They could have done it where she's just in the coma. They could have done it with, she does the ship move that they... Spoilers, I mean, we're already talking spoilers here, but the ship move where somebody had to stay behind.
And she does it.
Which I kind of thought, I was like, oh, of course, Jurassic Park is going to be in the next movie as the leader of the rebellion.
I love that her name is now Jurassic Park.
It is always Jurassic Park.
Dr. Ellie, I think is her name.
Yes.
Dern, is it? Laura Dern?
Laura Dern, yes. So Laura Dern.
Old purple hair.
Which I thought was kind of weird, that she was not going to be... I was like, why not just reshoot this part of it? Because obviously you have the money to reshoot. And just
I'm sure she'd be willing to come back. I don't think she's doing anything important.
Yeah. But then again, you don't get the goodbye of Luke and Leia at the end.
Yeah, with the dice?
That is something that diehards, I didn't even know anything about this, but I guess the dice are some sort of significance. They were in the other movies, like as just hanging from Han's thing. You
I
barely
assume
notice.
that's how he won the Millennium Falcon.
I think it was like a card game.
Oh, so it wasn't even.
It might have been a dice game. It might have been a dice game. I don't know.
Did he win it a bet or did he win it a card game?
Well, see, that's what I don't think. I don't know.
Somebody's yelling at their TV or their laptop.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Now, whatever. Their iPod.
You can message Bob on his Twitter account.
Yeah, be like, oh please, tweet me.
Tweet him. Tweet the crap out of him.
It'd just be a million tweets of. It was a card game.
I think I've seen an illustration of it as a card game, which is kind of funny, but I don't really know.
Just a bunch of Chewbacca's
maybe
playing poker.
Maybe that'll be explained. Maybe the dice thing are going to come up in the Solo movie that's coming out.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe that's where they're going to come in.
I hope so, with Childish Gambino.
Yes.
Lando Calrissian.
I'm looking forward to that. I kind of, because honestly,
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it could be good. It could be awful. They've already fired like the directors they had, which I don't know why that happened. Those guys made the Lego movie. It was brilliant.
They did, but we've already discussed this. Like, Disney is very adamant that you follow exactly what their plan is, because you don't mess with a multi-billion-dollar product.
It's very true.
Talk to EA about messing with a multi-billion-dollar product. Like, you just don't.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's good in some ways, bad in others, because think of the Ant-Man movie we would have had if they kind of let things go a little bit.
Yeah, well, then we might not have had Baby Driver.
That's very true.
So, Ant-Man was good.
Ant-Man was good.
And Baby Driver was awesome.
Baby Driver was.
And, Episode 8 was a filler episode.
All right. I'll give
it was that episode where you think they're going to explain why there are polar bears on the island in Lost, and then you find out there was just a zoo. What? There was a what? They were testing? There was a zoo. Why is Sawyer in a cage now? Lost sucked.
Yeah. Spoiler
alert
for like
Lost,
2007.
Lost was on for 6 seasons, and it didn't matter.
Yes. But you know what? I've listened to a couple of interviews with Paul Dini about that, and he said they made up a lot of stuff in that first season. They were just like, we didn't know where we were going, and we just made up a bunch of stuff.
Of course. And how about you just go ahead and admit that instead of saying you have a greater plan for us? Who else was involved in Lost? Who would like to introduce a bunch of mysteries that you didn't really have the best answers for what they were.
Okay. But honestly, there's a few disappointing things that I have to say. Killing Snoke, weird choice, but I get, like, we've already seen the old man emperor kind of thing, like tempting the dark side.
Would you say getting rid of the past?
Getting rid of the past. I agree with that.
I believe Kylo Ren even says something like that.
Yes, he does.
Forget the past.
Forget the past. Come with me. We'll rule this thing. I'm going to be the new Darth Vader. You're going to be the new Luke Skywalker. But we're going to just run this empire kind of thing. But that is not what happens. And this does have, I'll have to say, this does have some filler stories, but for spectacle, there was still some good stuff. The fight scene in the throne room was good. The whole thing where she rams them with light speed, that I had never seen before. I was like, that's pretty awesome. And the first battle was actually, even though it was kind of like, oh my god, why are they sacrificing all these people for one giant ship? I don't understand that.
It's never been done, Tim.
Yeah, but
you don't understand.
It was a good battle. It was a very interesting battle.
That's the other thing. I don't know if they explained it better, and I just missed it in 7, but I was relatively sure that the Empire was pretty much shattered as it was.
Yes.
So, why is the big thing in 8 that the Empire still outnumbers them millions to 1?
Yeah. That is kind of something that I don't understand either.
Like, we're back on the run.
Yeah.
From that one base.
Yes.
Which is millions of people somehow.
Yes.
I also don't like that they just straight up dispatch two of the main villains in 7 quickly.
Which
Snoke, obviously.
Snoke.
I think there probably could have been a little more to that, but whatever. How about Captain Phasma?
That was kind of disappointing. That really
twice.
And I kind of was like, is this because she has to do Game of Thrones stuff?
I don't think so.
And I'm just like, that's finishing up this year. This year. It'll probably be coming out next summer. No.
Maybe they'll do a Phasma movie and explain why I'm suddenly supposed to care more about this character. Because she was really interesting.
Yeah.
But she's not there much. There's nothing for her.
That was kind of like, I expected... See, because there had been talk about early drafts of the script where... lost my train of thought. My dog is going crazy right now. But that she was going to be hunting Finn, because it's like, but not like, oh, I'm going to wait for him to come to my ship kind of thing.
Well, like trying to chase him
down, like, and that was like going to be like a major plot point, was Finn recovering while being chased by Phasma and like her team of like death troopers or something like that, because the guys who had like the executioner, like, whatever.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
I would have liked to have seen something like that, where it's like she takes personal vendetta because you threw me into a trash compactor, you made me disarm the shields that blew up the base, you embarrassed me. I would have liked to have seen that, but this like weird we're gonna have a fight, but it's not really a fight kind of thing, and then I don't know. It just like I expected a little bit more.
Convertible AT-ATs or AT-STs or whichever one is the right one. Just so you know, the one that I meant to say was the right one.
Which one? The AT-ATs?
Don't tell the people that are tweeting me angrily.
Okay. No, what are you talking about?
The AT-STs, I believe, where BB-8 hops in one. And it just like the hood pops off for some reason. Yeah. What is that?
Yeah. Okay.
Why would you ever design it that way?
And also the walkers, the new walkers. I was like, well, okay, you got new walkers. What do they do, and why do they have the giant knuckle things in the front? I'm just like, I was really kind of surprised with that part of it. I was like, you have new things here, and I get that this is kind of maybe they were like, we need to put some more things that are going to be toys in this. So, I don't know.
I know the other major complaint for people is Luke. Just his mentality to begin with, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I didn't mind that either. Like him kind of like giving up a little bit. People wanted actually him to be there at the end, not like a projection. But I kind of thought that was kind of fun. I don't know. I didn't mind that as much.
And I guess that kills him?
I guess the effort of doing that, I guess... because he had not been connected to the Force for so long.
That's the thing I don't get. I also have a problem with his goodbye moment to Leia.
Yeah.
Not even being really him.
Yeah, like him not being there.
Like, you could have just sent a card.
Yeah.
Sneak a card onto Rey's ship when you're on there.
But the one thing I did like was what finally got him back into, like, training Rey was R2-D2 comes out and says, hey, remember this. Remember the reason you actually got into this thing in the first place was you were going to help people and help this like princess that you didn't know who that was at all. So don't just hide out on your island. Come out and actually do this stuff.
It's weird. I didn't hear any of that. I heard beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. Beep. Yeah, and you saw Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is obviously his kind of role in this.
And that speaks to the director.
Yeah.
Because he's very talented.
Yes.
Obviously, he's good at what he does.
Right.
I feel like there was probably more control on this than he should have had. I don't think he made the decisions necessarily at all.
I see, but we don't know. That's another thing. He could have been kind of like held back a little bit on this because...
But you look at everything else Disney does.
I mean, Rogue One is pretty much like one guy shot a bunch of stuff, then another guy comes in and they reshot a lot of it and then re-edited it.
Are you saying there were scenes in Rogue One that were in the original trailer that never showed up in the film?
There's no, what's her name, Jyn Erso running on the beach.
Towards AT-ATs?
Toward AT-ATs.
So it was AT-STs. Just so you know, that's what I meant.
AT-STs, AT-ATs. Everybody always argues about that.
But AT-ATs are the four-legged ones.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. They are. They are Star Wars fans.
Just walkers. I just call them walkers. Imperial walkers.
Yep.
But yeah, I have to say...
I'm just imagining a giant old person behind one leading up.
Like, we're gonna get there, I swear.
We're gonna get those darn rebels.
Rebels, scum.
And now I'm thinking about the Country Kitchen Buffet from South Park.
Less miles means less gas.
Constantly crashing their walkers into everything.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a different movie. That's the Lego movie they wanted to make, the Solo guys.
Really?
Yeah. It's a South Park episode of Star Wars.
Oh, they would so want to do that. But those guys will be fine. I'm sure they're going to be fine.
Speaking of things that were fine, episode 8. It was perfectly acceptable.
I thought it was good. I think, even though it doesn't answer a bunch of questions, it has great moments. Was it a perfect movie? No. But I think it's definitely watchable. Story it's not too bad, but room for improvement, sure.
Get used to not having those questions answered because J.J. Abrams was involved.
We'll see. We'll see what he does. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with all the stuff that the other guy dropped and how he's going to pick up. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to go see it. So, since it is now 2018, and that is a movie from 2017, what movies did you like from 2017? Because there's a bunch. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that came out in 2017.
Do you want to go with like the number one?
Yeah, go with well, how about this? What are your honorable mentions? Like, what's the ones that you're like, these were good, but not my favorite?
All right, so that's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it, I think, a few episodes back, but Roman J. Israel, Esquire.
Yes.
Definitely an honorable mention.
Definitely.
You're probably going to put it on your list, too, for honorable mention, but Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Logan.
Right.
I was a really big fan of Live by Night with Ben Affleck, which a lot of people didn't like, but I really enjoyed that movie.
And he directed that one, too, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
That seems like a Ben Affleck directed film.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those where you're willing to take your time with it. It's an old style crime drama.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily go where you think it's going to go, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But the movie is really solid. It's just a good movie. Good acting.
It just didn't get, like... It is kind of like... I didn't see it, but what I saw of it... Like, I saw the trailer and I was like, alright, that looks decent. Like, but I just think... It wasn't really advertised that well.
It also... Well, it definitely wasn't, because that trailer... Which, I probably really enjoyed this. The trailer that you see, from what I recall... talks about everything that happens. Like, the trailer is the first 20 minutes of the movie, and that's it.
Oh, really? Okay.
The 90% of the movie, maybe 80, takes place in an entirely different place.
Oh. Because
one of the staples of that particular writer, because it's Dennis Lehane.
Okay, yeah.
Is, what is it, Boston? Massachusetts, whatever. He's always... doing stuff in one particular area.
Okay.
So, like, Shutter Island, Mystic River. You will not see or read one of his books or movies without that accent.
Okay.
But most of this movie takes place in Florida.
Really?
I believe it's Florida.
So, does it start out in Boston and then it goes to Florida?
Yes.
Okay, so that's interesting.
It's part of the character story, how he gets there. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a really solid film. And then John Wick 2.
Okay.
A movie that one of my friends put me on to that was really solid. I would consider it a movie. I think it was made for HBO, but it was a movie.
Okay.
Called Tour de Pharmacy, which is a parody movie about the I don't know how to explain it, but the Tour de France.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But all the people that are just juicing on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious. Andy Samberg's in it.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely good then.
Strongly recommend it.
Okay.
He plays he's hated because he's African,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very proud of his African roots.
Okay.
But everybody hates him because he's white African.
Oh, what is it, like South African?
I believe that's what they were
Okay.
going for, yeah.
All right.
And then number 1, Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner 2049, which I still haven't seen. I've been actually, it's funny, I've watched through some of the supplementary materials, the cut, well, I don't know if they would be cut scenes or just like scenes shot by maybe other directors to kind of explain some of the world. And then also like the anime stuff, they did like a couple of those, which were really good. But yeah, it's definitely on my list of I need to, because that's something I kind of want to watch and really take my time with. And I have not had like time to just sit down and watch like one movie just start to finish and just really kind of like take it in. Because Blade Runner, even the movie itself, I've watched like several times, but I always kind of watch it when I want to like just sit and maybe I'm doing something else, but also want to just like get in a mood for a movie. That is kind of like a movie that puts you in a certain mood.
Yeah.
And very good. But so you're saying depressed. It is a little bit depressing, but ultimately very interesting and thought-provoking. And do you kind of feel like this one kind of follows in that line with it?
I don't think it'll make you depressed.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really solid film.
Okay.
I would call it cinema.
Okay.
And I don't throw that word around.
Right.
There's very few movies that I would say are cinema. There's like Crank 2.
Oh man.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Crank 2 is probably
brilliant
one of my favorite movies, but I don't know
for
if it's
other
cinema.
reasons, yeah.
No, it's just great all around.
It is a fun movie.
But no, Blade Runner is just like outstanding acting, outstanding writing, great effects, a massive budget on a movie that probably the studios, after their results, didn't think was worth the budget.
Right.
But everything worked. Han Solo was in it.
Yes. So he comes back.
He does. He's in the trailers.
He's in the trailers, yeah. That's not really a big spoiler. I mean, they pretty much sold it on Harrison Ford. His name's on the poster.
Probably shouldn't have put him in the trailers.
Yeah.
Because he's not in till pretty far into the movie, but
It's not surprising for a Blade Runner movie.
the actual... There's an actress in it who I think I talked about on the other podcast, who's in it that's very surprising and just does a phenomenal job. Like, everybody in it is great.
Mm-hmm.
See it.
All right.
What about you, Tim?
Well, I mean, there's so many good things that came out this year. Of course, we both love Kingsman 2.
Yeah!
Coco, I don't know if you've seen that.
That's the Disney one.
That's the Pixar one. Brilliant.
I love that you have to differentiate
I
that.
do, because...
That is an artist there.
Yes, I do, because Pixar does stuff that, I don't know, I don't think Disney kind of, like, there is definitely, they have a style to their stuff. And this was a good one, good story, good solid all around. Of course, you were the same as you, Logan, I think is honestly not just a brilliant superhero movie, but brilliant, almost like Western, and very much just a great appreciation of two actors who've been doing it for 20 years and all their history. So you've got Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman, and that relationship I think is brilliant.
Oh, yeah, they're great in that movie.
Yeah. And I love Colossal. That is just an amazing movie that speaks about addiction, dark humor, and also has giant kaiju in it, which is just so strange to me. Like it's just like it's such a weird concept, but it totally works for the movie. It doesn't feel like this is a forced part of this movie, but it's very good and very like a solid story behind that. And of course, Wonder Woman, Thor Ragnarok was really good. We talked about Baby Driver, John Wick 2, Guardians 2. But I have to say, my favorite one this year was Get Out. Get Out was...
Oh, Get Out!
Yes. Yes. Great pun. But also, an amazing movie. His first written movie, and Jordan Peele just kills it. Like I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times now. Every time I see something just a little bit more that he added in there that you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, shot really well, great actors for it, and funny, sad, and a brilliant social commentary. And horror done with social commentary, it's just a great movie. I hope he does 1,000 more. I'm sure he will do 1,000 more. I think Universal has a I think first look contract with him.
Oh, so like the next thing they get to look at first. They get
first dibs.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Universal's fine. I mean, they put that out, so.
Yeah, and honestly, I almost wish he. Like, it would have been interesting to see if they gave him like one of the Universal monster movies, like what he could do with it.
Are you saying you want a sequel to The Mummy like I do?
I would like to see if he did a Mummy movie. I bet it would be really good. But
just like the one we got last year.
Yes, it's so awful. It's so bad.
I don't think you've seen it.
I've seen enough of it. I've seen a lot of parts.
Then you wouldn't be calling it awful, Tim.
I saw the Mr. Hyde parts, and I have no idea what they were thinking. I was just like, really? Oh my god!
Someday I'll have to borrow the mic, and I'll just do a dissertation on the Mummy.
Honestly, we could start a separate podcast where we watch the Mummy movie minute by minute, and just really give it the review it needs. Every minute and what you could have done to save this movie, because Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks in this movie.
That's a different Mummy movie. I imagine he'd be wearing his shirt more.
Yes, but Tom Cruise, and honestly, I like Tom Cruise. He is a great special effect in himself and what he can put his body through. Because honestly, Tom Cruise running in a movie, like, that half sells a movie to me. I'm just like, Mission Impossible, is Tom Cruise running? Then I will see it.
Is he hanging on the side of something?
Yes.
It's probably a Tom Cruise movie.
Where a stuntman, or you could do this in a studio with a green screen, but Tom Cruise will do it himself and give himself hypothermia. That is an amazing
He'll
movie.
definitely injure himself.
He will always go for the injure himself.
Actually, now that I think about it,
yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio almost killed himself for an Oscar.
Yes.
Where's Tom Cruise's Oscar for that?
That's true. Mummy. Best actor.
No, but I mean, Mission Impossible movies, he's almost died.
Yes.
Why not, here, Ghost Protocol award.
Oh my god.
For getting almost ghosted.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh man. But yeah, Get Out, definitely my top pick for this year. But there's tons of honorable mentions. There's a lot of good movies. Stephen King's It was a good one. I completely forgot about King Kong Skull Island. I think that was a great movie and like a period piece. Samuel L. Jackson killing that in that movie.
Setting up the ultimate team up better than the Justice League movies.
Yes. And Justice League, not a great movie, but it had some good moments. I'm sure there's a million things. But also Furious 8. Fate of the Furious, you mean?
That
is exactly what I meant.
How could you miss out on that pun?
Yeah. But there's a lot of good stuff this year. But for me, Get Out was probably the top.
I can definitely see that. Someday I'll have to finish it.
Yes, you will.
Don't let anybody, if you haven't seen it yet, don't let anybody, they'll tell you, it doesn't matter. Tim even gave me this conversation before. It totally matters. Don't let somebody spoil the ending for Get Out if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Because honestly, yeah.
The movie works better if you don't know, because as somebody who had the ending ruined for me, and I think I've watched the first probably hour and 10 minutes of it.
Okay.
So I'm definitely far in there, but I just, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care to finish it, and it's great. Everything up to it is solid, and I should totally care.
Yes.
I
know.
It's like it's over for me. Because I think that it's like knowing the ending to The Sixth Sense.
Right.
Because you can go back and you can see, he kind of didn't...
Right.
Like, they didn't really talk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 21 years ago.
Yes.
If I ruined that for you.
I was going to say, what was the Arrival? Like that.
The new Arrival or the Charlie Sheen Arrival?
No, both.
Okay.
No, but the new Arrival.
Tiger Juice.
Yes. The new one with Hawkeye and Lois Lane.
Yep, Hawkeye and Lois Lane. The ultimate team up.
If that one was... Like, I didn't know the ending going into that one. Everybody just said it is a brilliant movie. And seeing that... If I had that ruined for me, I think it would probably have been harder to watch. Because when you go back and watch it a second time, they do set things up brilliantly that you don't even really... It's a beautiful magic trick of a movie.
Yes. If this was 2016's list, that would be number one
I
for
know.
me.
But yeah. But I gotta
Oddly
say...
enough, same director.
Same director for 2049, yeah. And I'm sure he's going to be fine. He's going to do whatever he's going to do.
He's got to be a little upset right now.
Why?
I saw a preview for something that I don't think he's involved in.
Okay.
They're making a sequel to one of his films. I know what you're thinking. They can't.
Oh, wait. Is it... I know.
Oh, it's an easy guess.
Is it...
Because there's only one film that's
not Prisoners.
It's not Prisoners.
No.
It's the next one.
I can't think of the name
Sicario.
Sicario, yes.
Sicario has a sequel.
Which is strange to me that they would do that.
It's really strange because it worked perfectly.
Right.
You know what it is? It's... You have... The old adage is a bunch of monkeys with typewriters in a room. Infinite time, they'll come up with Shakespeare.
Right.
It's like they did that, and then you expect them afterwards to come up with a script for the movie Killing Shakespeare.
Right.
Right away. Probably just not. Like, because you had this perfect thing that works, and you'll not be able to recreate it. It was that one perfect film. Don't. Just don't. Don't.
It is, like, that is kind of like one of those things that's like, why sequelize? I get why you want to, because you want that money grab, but it's like one of those things you really shouldn't do.
There's a scene halfway through the trailer in the second one. Halfway through the trailer, I kid you not. I don't think anything else is reused. I'm pretty sure there's a reshot, or like a reused shot from Sicario 1.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's upsetting.
Where somebody's hiding under a car, because that person is not listed in Sicario 2.
Yeah.
Sicario 2 Soledad is the full title. Maybe just call it Sicario Soledad.
Right.
Leave the 2 out of it.
Yeah. So, speaking of 2s, and since that is coming out sometime next year, or this year actually, do you want to talk a little bit about the movies you're looking forward to coming next year?
Looking forward to?
2.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. I have a bit of a list.
Go for it.
Some of them sooner than others. Probably the closest to now is I, Tonya.
Yes.
I'm really excited about that, the Nancy Kerrigan, Tonya Harding film.
Yes, and you showed me that, which I thought was going to be just like a weird like doc film.
Nope.
And it is not. It is looks like a very interesting
dark comedy.
Dark comedy
with Margot Robbie. It looks like the new Fargo.
Yeah, it really does, and it looks like also like brilliant actors just like killing it, and There's a lot of fourth wall breaking.
Oh my god, it's another Avengers and DC team up.
That's very true.
It's Harley Quinn and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Because Sebastian
Stan.
Yeah. Which I love. I actually think he's a great actor. He doesn't do a lot.
We talked about this.
I know.
I've seen him in 100 things, and I'll never remember his face the next day.
It's true. But honestly, the fact that he doesn't, he disappears into a role, that's kind of a good thing.
Okay. There's a difference between what I meant and what you said.
I know what you meant. I know. But honestly, that looks very interesting to me, I have to say. I can't wait for that one.
So then I would say Dom Hemingway.
Which
is just craziness. If you haven't seen the trailer for Jude Law's new film,
yes,
see the trailer and then try and tell me that I shouldn't be excited for that film. It's crazy.
It is really crazy. And honestly, not a role you would think Jude Law would take, but...
I don't know. Repo Man Jude Law?
That's true.
He would totally take that role.
Yeah.
I think he's willing to try almost anything in a movie.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's Ready Player One, which I'm sure is on your list, too.
Yeah, of course.
Avengers, which I'm sure is on your list,
absolutely.
too. And then the movie that will someday come out. It's the Half-Life 3 of movies, which is God Particle.
Yes.
Which now, when we talk about this, may not be called that anymore.
Yeah. It's, honestly, if, like you were saying that they're going to change the name, if they don't change it to something Cloverfield God Particle...
Well, I think that was the most recent name was, Cloverfield the God Particle.
Yeah.
I think that was... But now I think it's changing beyond that, even.
I think that's a mistake.
They certainly can't call it the Cloverfield particle. I don't know what they're going to call it.
They could call it the Cloverfield particle.
But it's part of the Cloverfield anthology now.
Right.
Which is like the Twilight Zone anthology, in that none of the movies are truly connected.
Only very... slightly.
Yeah, they have these weird Easter eggs with the Slusho Corporation, which is just a J.J. Abrams Easter egg because it was in Lost.
You're right.
And Heroes. So it's just his stuff, which means there'll be a mystery and it'll never be truly explained.
Mm-hmm.
Which works fine because they don't try to explain them in the Cloverfield movies.
Right.
Hopefully this one turns out great. I'm excited to see it. It's if you don't know what it's about. Scientists on a space station, and something happens, and then Earth disappears.
Right.
And they're like, rut-row.
Right. And that comes from that scare of when they were the particle accelerator and using it to make these God particles that they could study. And everybody was freaked out by, oh my god, what's going to happen? Is this going to be a chain reaction that destroys the Earth or blah, 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 which is not what it was at all. Is this going to make a black hole, which is, I know what everybody was afraid of kind of thing. That's not how it works at all.
I hope that it just makes a giant Cloverfield monster that they have to fight in space.
That would be fun.
And he can move around like Princess Leia.
He can just float to doors.
While unconscious?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
But that was you, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. That one I'm looking forward to. What else you got?
That's it for movies that I'm really hyped for, I think. I can't think of another thing. I'll probably see Sicario 2. I'll probably be disappointed. But, Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
We'll see. They've both been in movies that have disappointed me, and they've both been in movies that I've liked.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking at you, Wall Street 2. You know what you did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a weird one that they did. I don't know why, but whatever.
What about you, Tim?
I can't believe I can't remember the name of this movie. They just had something come out about it. I think it was a minute trailer. It's going to be the new... Well, I don't want to say Peter Jackson movie because it's not Peter Jackson. It's his company making it and the effects.
Is it Weta Works, is it?
It's Weta, yeah. Weta Productions. I think he helped develop the story a little bit, but it's based off a book series. Oh man, it's Engines. I want to say like Thy Mortal Engine or something along those lines. I really wish I could remember it right now because I know it's directed by his longtime storyboard artist.
Oh, that's
Christian. I think his name is Christian Rivers.
Mm-hmm. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. He worked I think he's worked on every Peter Jackson movie, and honestly, I think he's the reason that the first Lord of the Rings movies really were done well. I think that he did a lot of and he worked with them quite a bit. Oh man, I really wish I could remember right now. So I'm gonna hold on.
Cheating.
I know I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna look this up really quick.
I mean, speaking of great Peter Jackson movies, because I can totally do that.
Mm-hmm.
How about The Frighteners?
Oh man,
that's the best movie of 2018. Could it possibly be called Venom? It's not.
It is not.
I wish it was. I wish it was
the Venom movie?
Yeah.
Well, you mean there are coming out one with Tom Hardy is going to have it.
Almost like that's a movie that comes out this year.
Okay. That's going to come out this year?
I think it's late 2018.
Okay. I think that's a bad idea.
Why?
Well, depends on what kind of movie they make.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it'll be great. Tom Hardy's in it. He's never made a bad film.
It's not true. Okay.
No.
All right, well,
he was in a movie with Reese Witherspoon. The rules are, if you're in a movie with Reese Witherspoon, it's bad.
Right. But
God, speaking of which, while Tim's looking up this movie. Oh, there you go. You had the name.
Yeah.
It's Mortal Engines.
It is Mortal Engines. And it is Christian Rivers. He was the storyboard artist, and now he's directing it. So. But no, go ahead.
Could you stop? Could you stop, Reese Witherspoon? Could you stop? We get it.
Was that the Chris Pine movie with him and Tom Hardy?
Yeah, and they fight each other for her? No, you don't. Come on, just go have a beer. She's not worth it. Trust me, she's not worth it. Sorry.
Yeah.
We can get back to this.
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon sucks.
This might be a whole other podcast.
About how she's terrible?
Why I hate Reese Witherspoon.
What's she ever done?
Oh, wait. Think about it. Johnny Cash movie.
I didn't like that movie.
You didn't like that movie?
No. Don't even start with me.
Walk the Line.
No. You have this entire life story of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie, I liked Walk the Line when it was played by John C. Reilly.
Oh, okay.
There was nothing interesting about Walk the Line.
Walking Hard.
Yeah, Walk Hard was great.
I did like that movie. That was a good movie.
It was so much better.
But as a true story about a guy's life.
Yeah. I remember when Johnny Cash's brother was cut in half. And he said to Johnny Cash, "I'm cut in half here pretty bad, Johnny." Johnny said, "That's right. I'm going to go walk hard."
Okay.
Yeah, strong. Oh my God, that's so much better. Could we please, anytime we talk about Reese Witherspoon, just don't. Never.
Did she hurt you?
How does she keep having a career? Nobody has ever gone out and said,
by the way,
Reese Witherspoon was in the best movie of 2018.
These are your opinions of Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry, Reese. If you're listening to this.
Reese Witherspoon, I know you listen to this podcast on the regular. You've tweeted about it constantly.
I want to Google whether or not Reese Witherspoon has ever made an interesting movie.
Okay.
And I don't think she has. I don't think she's ever,
What about the one she did where, I think it was she was a drug addict that had went on the...
No, I think she was just trying to win an Oscar.
Didn't she...
Could people stop falling for Reese Witherspoon in movies? How about that?
Okay.
There's better options in almost every one of her movies. I'm sure there's
Did she ruin a
coat
movie
rack
for you?
or something?
Did she sit behind
I'm
you
sure
in a
she
movie?
was in some.
Did she sit behind you in a movie and ruin a movie for
I
you?
feel like Reese Witherspoon.
I think this is a personal vendetta where she sat behind you in a movie and ruined a movie for you. Did she tell you the end of Get Out?
No, I've just never seen. Yeah, she did.
Okay.
I saw an interview with her.
Okay.
Where she was like, "I'm not interesting. I'm boring, and I spoil movies for people."
And here's the end of Get Out.
Oh, just stop it, Reese Witherspoon. Can we please call this episode "Just Stop It, Reese Witherspoon"?
I will definitely make reference to just Reese Witherspoon stopping.
I don't know. That's a weird tangent to go on, but she's never been interesting.
Okay. You're welcome to your opinion. I don't know. I don't really feel one way or the other about the lady.
Exactly.
But you definitely have a hatred for Reese.
Has she ever been? I'm pretty sure she's been the protagonist in a movie.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you literally care nothing about her.
What about
she's toast?
What about the election with Matthew Broderick? Was that no?
Yeah, Matthew Broderick.
Dark comedy.
It was like insta-fat Matthew Broderick. It was between whatever was right before then and election that he got fat.
Do you hate Matthew Broderick?
I don't. I just thought we should bring that up.
Okay.
Reese Witherspoon made Matthew Broderick fat and irrelevant.
Wow.
Can we please talk about the Christmas Story musical that was on television? I watched like 20 minutes. You know he narrated it. When you think
no clue.
When you think A Christmas Story,
yeah.
Which let's not even get into why that's not a good movie.
Okay.
How about not showing it for 24 hours every year?
You know why that happened, right?
Yeah, because nobody liked it.
No. They originally had the right, or they were showing like 24 hours of It's a Wonderful Life.
Which was better.
Which was
also not liked when it came out. Right.
But it turns out they didn't, I forget which TBS or whatever, didn't have the rights to show It's a Wonderful Life. So they're like, well, we need another holiday movie. What do we have that we own? We have A Christmas Story. So that became like their big push, was for that movie. And it does have good moments to it, but it's a weird movie. You should watch the sequel. It's amazing.
What, to Christmas Story?
Yeah, it's basically Ralphie years later and stuff like that. It's,
you know who he probably doesn't sound like?
Who?
Matthew Broderick.
Yes.
Also, let's not. Oh, you know what? Let's not go into the Christmas Story musical.
Okay. All right, but so Mortal Engines. I'm
looking
forward to that.
I'm sure it's probably different than the Immortal Instruments, City of Bones.
Yes, I don't know why that popped in my head, but yeah, but it's a steampunk weird movie based on the book series.
That's weird. If that popped into your head, I don't think you said it out loud.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I know.
You astral projected.
I know. I couldn't think of the name of the movie, and I was like, that's not it. But Mortal Engines, steampunk about like a desolate future where cities basically ride on the back of giant tanks. Like literally like England, if you see the trailer, England swallows up another like smaller city. It's weird.
Oh, you told me about this.
It is a weird movie. They haven't shown much other than like that part of the trailer where it's like a smaller, like I guess town or whatever is being chased by London or like England basically, and then gets swallowed by it. I don't know the full story behind it, but it looks interesting, and I don't know, I haven't seen a good steampunk movie in a while or ever, so hopefully.
Excuse you? Van Helsing?
Oh, we will not bring up Van Helsing. Oh man, yeah, sure, Van Helsing.
All right,
but more
clearly
than that,
wasn't the worst movie ever made.
Pacific Rim 2, just because it's going to be a fun movie. I don't think it's going to beat the first one in terms of story or anything, but it looks interesting. But the biggest one I think I'm looking forward to, besides Avengers, Black Panther. I really kind of want to see the Black Panther movie. It looks really good. I love the cast. I really kind of want to see it. So that's it for me for what I'm looking forward to. So
I figured out what she was in that she wasn't annoying in. I sorry,
Go ahead.
I had to Google to see if she was a liar about being Southern in the movie Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, Sweet Home Alabama.
Which was... Whoa.
Okay.
Reese Witherspoon sucks, by the way. But she was in one movie where she played annoying and it was intentional, but I don't think she was acting.
Okay.
She was in American Psycho. She played the annoying fiance.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even
That's how
remember
memorable Reese Witherspoon is.
Okay.
She's a coat rack with blonde hair.
Wow.
Yeah. There's nothing interesting about her.
Wow.
She's that thing that you get if you live in a snowy area to put your boots on when you get in. She's just unimportant.
Okay.
You could just leave them outside.
Sure.
Like, just leave Reese Witherspoon outside, I guess is what we're saying. If it's cold out.
Okay.
Maybe she'll go away. I hate her. It's like an irrational hatred. Do you have that with any actors or actresses?
I can't think of anybody that I just hate because of their face.
It's not even her face. It's just her acting, her choices. She's so pompous. Everything she's in, she's like the sought after character. Just stop it, you. Nobody's seeking you.
The Reese Witherspoon fan club is going to hunt you down.
Joaquin Phoenix and his whisper acting.
Oh, man.
Gave up drugs in a movie to be with her?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. So moving along. So this year had a lot of good TV shows.
Yeah. Which I barely watch TV.
I know. But one of the ones we both watched, Punisher, on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Great. Reese Witherspoon was not in it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it.
She might have been one of the targets he was practicing on.
True.
Shooting Reese Witherspoon.
But I think they did a great job. Talk about something that they haven't really done a lot of. I haven't seen a lot of TV shows where they talk about PTSD and like what that really means to. I've actually heard a lot of veterans talk about it, like saying how much they really appreciated this season of The Punisher and really talking about some stuff that, you know, people kind of glaze over a lot, and it's definitely an issue in our society. But I have to say my favorite TV show this season has been Legion. I mean, there's a lot of shows coming back, of course. You know, you've got your Game of Thrones and a few other ones here and there, but I have to say Legion was just amazing to see. I forget the guy's name, but the guy who did Fargo, the TV series, and this one is just, it's been amazing. They do the personality stuff, the way they shoot it, the acting in it, I think has just been top notch. So what was your favorite non-Reese Witherspoon TV shows?
Now I'm thinking if she's ruined television yet. She probably has.
She does have a TV show.
Of course she does. So my favorite television show that I will actually watch, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people say it came out against this at first before it came out, but now that it's been out, a lot of people have jumped on and said this is a really good show. I haven't watched it yet, but you've been watching it regularly.
It's solid. I don't know. I can't remember the guy who plays Riggs' name.
Okay.
I know that for a time there, they were definitely thinking about different actors, but Damon Wayans plays Murtaugh, and you wouldn't expect him to be good in the role, but he's really good in the role. Riggs has a shrink,
right?
Who's played by that girl whose name I'll never remember from the Fast and the Furious movies, Paul Walker's wife.
Oh, Jordana Brewster.
Yeah, she's in it every week.
Fantastic.
Yep. Deals a lot more with sort of what makes Riggs who he is, because Lethal Weapon was always like, he's crazy, his wife got killed.
Yeah. But they don't really go... I mean, you really can't explore that in a movie as much as you can in a TV show. No,
they definitely do on the television show, and they're not afraid to go really dark with it.
Which is good. I think that's a good choice for that.
Like, not jump off a building...
Right.
Handcuffed to a gentleman...
Right.
Onto an inflatable... I don't know.
I guess they could just call it like an airbag.
Airbag, yeah. Oh, man. Lethal Weapons. Great movies. Right. Great TV show. And there's only a couple others that I watch right now on the regular. Preacher.
Oh, of course.
is really solid.
Very good.
The first season is a setup for what you've read in the comics, pretty much.
Pretty much.
They change a lot, but also I really got into this strange Adult Swim show.
Okay.
That's a lot of fun. Neon Joe Werewolf Hunter.
Okay.
Which nobody's heard of.
I'm sure somebody's heard of that.
Somebody has watched it on Adult Swim, but it is a blast. It's not a cartoon.
Right.
It's live action. The main character is played by Councilman Jam from Parks and Rec.
Yes.
He's great. He always wears neon.
Yeah.
And Neon Joe.
I did, you told me about this. I did see a little bit of it, and it is pretty funny.
He has a weird Bayou accent.
Yes.
Strongly recommend. And Paul Rudd's in the first episode. Paul Rudd, a more interesting actress than Reese Witherspoon. Pretty sure they've been in a movie together.
Have they? I don't know.
I think they were both in the movie that made Jack Nicholson stop acting. Just so you know, Reese Witherspoon ruined Jack Nicholson for us.
I'm trying to think.
Exactly.
What movie?
I think it was them and Owen Wilson, I want to say.
Okay.
Exactly.
I have no idea what it was.
I know. Because it's a Reese Witherspoon movie.
Oh, man.
I might be wrong. But I don't think Jack Nicholson's done anything since.
So if Reese Witherspoon disappears, you can go to Bob's house. He will have her.
I would not care enough to show up at her house and, like, do anything. If I saw her in the street, I'd be like...
Well, I'm just saying you're going to make her disappear. I'm not saying you're doing anything to
I'd
her.
write a weekly letter that just says, like, to every studio. I don't write it to her, because she's not worth the time.
Right.
I write it to, like, Fox Studios and, like, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, now you only have to write to Disney.
Right. Hey, dear Disney.
Mm-hmm.
She's uninteresting. For a while, I didn't think she was Southern. Why?
Why?
Exclamation mark, question mark.
Man.
That's true story. It's not true. I don't. That's a weird tangent to get stuck on today.
No.
But you're welcome. If you or your family members hate Reese Witherspoon, don't worry about it. There's a reason.
Or if you feel indifferent.
Maybe she's an alien. Maybe it's like one of those scenes in Men in Black or the Justice League movie.
Oof.
Where,
her face is going to open up.
What? Can we talk 1 minute about why Justice League felt the need to say that Prince and David Bowie were from space and they went home?
Wait, in Justice League?
Oh, you don't remember this, Tim.
Oh, man.
Because the serious film that was Justice League ripped off a joke from Men in Black.
That's very true.
So Men in Black has that weird part in the movie. It's not even weird, it's funny. Part in the movie where there's a bunch of TV screens and it's showing all the aliens that are on Earth.
Right.
And like Michael Jackson's on there, and then they had maybe Al Roker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoever they got, whoever they got that would agree to be put in the movie.
Right.
But in the beginning of Justice League, they have a newspaper right before that weird anti-Arab American guy like attacks some dude. Stop it, Hollywood. Nobody has that level of hate in Metropolis. It's a fictional city. Don't bring your weird hang-up on race relations into this film. Our country's messed up enough. Anyway, there's like a newspaper in a stand, and it's got a picture of Prince, a picture of Superman, and a picture of David Bowie, and the line above it is, "Did they go home?"
Weird.
Stop it.
It's very weird that they did that.
Don't. They're dead. Alright? You probably should have left Superman dead. Arguably.
Honestly, we've talked about Justice League and the stuff that they've cut out, a lot of stuff, and stuff that they left in, and his mustache, and...
Actually, all of those people had mustaches at one point.
Who?
David Bowie, Prince, and Superman.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, Superman didn't have a mustache.
No, he did.
No,
you can't CG it out.
It is
like you tried to make David Bowie an alien.
I don't know why they just
It was
didn't
just weird.
just have Superman have a beard. I would have been fine with this with a 5 o'clock
Your hair
shadow.
grows
Superman.
when you're dead.
Right.
Just have him not be able to find a razor strong enough to cut his beard.
Exactly. He had a Man of Steel. He had a beard. I was like, oh, it's fine.
Also, what studio did he make another movie for that wasn't willing to back up on that contract a little bit?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Universal.
We know the Mummy failed.
Well, because he's one of the Mission Impossibles. Or the new Mission Impossible,
How important is a mustache in the new Mission Impossible movie? His
know.
name better be Mustachio Facial Harrison. Because otherwise there's no need. Just put a fake mustache on him. Literally, Mission Impossible is about putting on fake mustaches and pretending to be somebody else. That's the plot of the first movie. You're welcome. I wrote it for you. We fixed it for you.
We fixed it for you. We haven't done one of those in a while.
We haven't.
We should again. So, besides Lethal Weapon, any other TV shows you want to get into?
I mean, just the ones I talked about before. There's nothing really I watch on a regular basis that I'm caught up on that I would say is that solid.
Okay. So, one of our other things, I don't know of any TV shows I really want to put down because I can't think of anything that I watched that I was really disappointed in this year. Do you have any that you were just like, this was a waste of time to watch this? Any TV shows?
I honestly, I'll get into like an irrational hate of another show and how it kind of ruined a series for me. So I don't.
Okay.
My Law and Order Special Victims Unit, just stop it.
Okay.
You just stop.
It'll never stop.
Stop trying to preach to me.
Okay.
All right? Just know. And if you don't know, watch the episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit where a woman who works in advertising for a soda company dies.
Oh, man.
Stop it.
That's a weird one.
There's a 2-minute scene in that movie where they're all around the police station, a bunch of detectives. The most elite detectives on this force. That's why they're put on the Special Victims Unit. They're the elite task force that deals with sex crimes.
Right. And other things, I'm sure.
They have a 2-minute conversation about how soda's bad for you. Stop it. And then they go and investigate a mother whose kid died because he drank too much soda?
Like diabetes?
He just got real fat, I think. I don't know.
What, did he have like
maybe stop buying the soda. It's a kid, right? What's he gonna do, steal it?
Yeah.
Just watch him. Hey, how about you be a parent? Stop blaming the world for your problems.
You want the TV show to be a parent?
The problem is I don't want the TV show to be a parent. I want the TV show to be original Law and Order. Dig up the original Lenny Briscoe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's dead, I know.
Yeah.
But dig him up. And he'd be more interesting than Mariska Hargitay.
Oh.
Every episode is just, I was raped. It was horrible. Stop identifying. You should be cold and like arresting people not based on emotions anymore. You've been doing this for what feels like 52 years.
Right. Oh, and speaking of her partner, who's on another show.
Yes.
Happy. I have not seen Happy yet, but that is something I'm going to say looking forward to in 2018 when I get around to it.
I started it.
Yeah?
Yeah. The Syfy channel.
The Syfy. Oh, man.
Well, I mean, what else is it?
No, I know. Sci-fi is such a weird... I don't know what they're... All of a sudden, it went from, like, showing stuff, like... Well, like, they had, like... I think Battlestar Galactica was on Sci-Fi.
Mystery Science Theater used to be on like, Saturday nights.
And then all of a sudden, it went to wrestling, which was weird.
Well, I mean, that's scientific fiction.
Oh, man.
Sure.
And then now they're finally doing an original program, which is actually working out for them. With I guess the Magicians, which I've heard is like doing very well, and
not to be confused with the Librarians.
Right. That's a different series.
Which I think has John Larroquette on it now.
Yeah, I think so.
That's weird.
Yeah. And then this show, Happy, which is based off a Grant Morrison comic, it's pretty much dead on, and it's got amazing people in it. Patton Oswalt,
Jerry Springer, Christopher Maloney.
Yeah, Christopher Maloney, which I've heard is just brilliant in this.
I started the first episode.
Okay.
I don't know when the Sci-Fi Channel or Sci-Fi Channel became HBO.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they want to do.
Well, they did.
And what was the other one? They had 12 Monkeys for a while, I think, too.
I didn't even. When I saw,
I heard actually it was pretty good.
What?
I have not seen it. A lot of people are commenting about how great it was, though.
Nah.
But it's a different...
I doubt she's going to pull out her own tooth. Only Bruce Willis would do that for a role.
Right. Bruce Willis. But yeah, Happy, definitely looking forward to that. So you saw the first... Did you like the first episode?
So far, it was solid. I have to finish it. The opening sets a tone, and you can definitely tell that half of the team that made Crank is behind it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not, but I would say the premise for this is like pretty much perfect for
I'm sure as soon as he saw that it was up for grabs, even on Syfy, he was like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider 2's not paying the bills anymore. Let's do it. I'll never make the Vatican Tapes 2.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. But, so, transitioning from TV shows that we liked and did not like, this has been a good year for games. There's been a lot of stuff coming out, or has come out. Like I say, honorable mention, of course, South Park, The Separate But Whole.
The Fractured But Whole.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Fractured But Whole, which is just brilliant. Like super funny. It's about like all the DC, Marvel setting up universe stuff, and also just a great premise for a game. Shadows of Mordor came out, Shadows of War. Zelda Breath of the Wild, Wolfenstein 2. The only thing I've really had a chance to play is Cuphead, which was a brilliant game. It looks like an old Disney cartoon, like the black and white ones.
Did you know it was all hand-drawn?
Yes, I thought that was amazing that they did it that way. I hope they do more games like that.
Based on its success, I'm sure they're already doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be another round for that game. But a good one that you've talked about is the Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yep.
And this one is Egypt, right?
Ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt during whose pharaoh reign are we in?
Kind of just after Cleopatra.
Okay.
And before and after?
Okay.
You'll see. I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Gotcha. But you've liked it. What's then the things that you've liked the most for this one? Versus other ones.
The character's more interesting. His mission, it's revenge, so it's always Assassin's Creed.
Right.
They've never made an Assassin's Creed where it wasn't revenge, aside from Black Flag. Okay.
Which was kind of like a pirate adventure.
Yeah, he was just like, he's literally a pirate who just kind of falls upon an assassin's blade, and then he's like, alright, well, I guess this is what I do now.
Right.
Not the most interesting story, Black Flag, but it was a great game. But the exploration was a lot of fun. Big fan of that time period, so hanging out in ancient Egypt is a blast. Fighting animals.
Okay.
Like, you've never really done that in Assassin's Creed.
They didn't have that at all in the, what was the one that was in America? There wasn't any hunting or...
There was hunting, but it's not the same.
Okay.
This, like, you're actually, like, there's monster fights, like...
Okay, alright.
And there's boss fights. This is the first Assassin's Creed with, like, legit giant boss fights.
Really?
Yep. They even have, like, events where you fight, like, the gods, the Trials of the Gods or something it's called.
Oh, you actually...
No, you fight them.
So like, what was that movie?
That's Gods of Egypt.
Gods of Egypt.
Yep. You play Jaime Lannister.
Okay. And you fight the king from Sparta.
You fight Gerard Butler.
That's
King
right.
Leonidas. And you kick him down a well.
That's right.
No, but I mean, it's just a lot of fun. They have a lot of changes they made to it. Fast travel. It's huge open world now. You can ride a camel or a horse. It's a true story.
So when you say fast travel, it's like if you could. Is it like what they used to do with GTA, where it's like you could actually ride all the way there if you want to?
Oh yeah, you can
or you can just
point to point.
Click it and it'll skip you to where you need to be.
Yeah, you'll have a little bit of a load, but
right.
Yeah, and that's the coolest thing to me is that you can just ride through the desert for hours and you see like random events. There's things that happen.
Right.
If you're in the desert for too long, you start to hallucinate. There's actually an achievement or a trophy, whatever you're playing on,
right,
for seeing the rain of locusts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from just being in the desert. Cool art. All the entire world design is really well done. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but
right,
it's good stuff. They added in puzzles that are different. It's not just moving shapes around until you solve it.
Okay.
It's actually like riddles.
Okay.
You have to try and find where the legendary gear is. And then they added gear tiers, which is either good or bad because it's a gateway to microtransactions, but they don't. Nothing about it is forced.
Okay. That's good. Because we've talked about microtransactions a lot on here.
Yeah.
But
and you can tame a lion.
Oh. Does he come around and hang out with you?
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. I would actually probably spend most of my time trying to do that.
You can do that and bring him to some crocodiles and watch.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Him getting eaten by crocodiles?
Well, you could fight him. You could help. There's boss battles with giant elephants.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Weird thing. Can you ride an elephant?
You cannot, at least without DLC. I'm sure there'll be DLC.
All right.
We'll see.
Okay. So that's definitely worth it. But for stuff that's upcoming, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, my God. Basically the Sony exclusive lineup for next year.
Okay.
So God of War and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bayonetta 1 and 2.
Right.
In February. And then Bayonetta 3 whenever Platinum gets it done. I'm excited for those. And then, Tim, I know you showed me a trailer for a game earlier. Yeah. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot the most important one. The one Tim is still hung up on. We'll see. Biomutant.
Interesting. The gameplay,
Game of the year 2018.
No.
Biomutant.
No. I'm more interested in their other game coming out, based off the series they've been working on for a while. It's actually, this will be, I think it's like 3 years
since the last one. Oh no, it's probably 5 or 6 years.
5, really?
Mm-hmm.
Since the, what was it, Death?
Since 2, yeah, since Death.
Okay, yeah.
Trust me.
Okay, but Darksiders 3, which is about the Horseman Fury, and it looks good. Like all the, I mean, they've always had good game design. It's all based off Joe Madureira's designs. He's, been working there for a while. I mean, they pretty much did. I don't know if he left to do Battle Chasers, kickstart his Battle Chasers game, but if he might have come back, or he just worked on this one while, waiting or whatever.
How crazy is that, by the way?
What?
That both of the projects that he loved got brought back.
Right.
Based on just fans loving them. Because Darksiders 2 sales did not warrant it coming back.
Really? It wasn't like...
Well, it couldn't have been.
Okay.
Because you see, it came out at the end of THQ.
Mm-hmm.
I think it came out and THQ shuttered within a month. So I don't think there were 1 billion copies that got printed. I might be wrong.
Okay. No, I could see it. I mean, the first one was about war. Mm-hmm. The second one was about death. And then this one will be about fury.
And then they'll have the gunman.
Okay.
Because that guy carries guns.
That's true.
I don't know how they're going to make that game work.
We'll see. It might work. But Fury is going to be about she's going to hunt. I think it's like she's hunting down the 7 deadly sins, or something along those lines. I'm not exactly sure what, but I think the other ones were like you fought angels and demons. I'm sure it's going to be something similar but yet different.
I'm sure it'll be solid.
It'll be good action.
Nordic seems to care about their stuff.
Right. And so that Biomutant, which it doesn't look, it looks promising, but we'll just see where it goes with it. And then I'm trying to think what else is coming out. That any other ones that you're thinking about?
Another one you showed me the trailer for.
I know, but I'm just asking if you had another one you were thinking about.
Oh, I honestly, I'm just excited to see what gets announced soon. I'm hoping some games have dates. Oh, probably Red Dead.
Red Dead 2?
Everybody and their mother's going to tell you they're excited for Red Dead 2. But to be honest, I really want to play it. I loved Red Dead 1. The only Rockstar game, open world, that I ever 100%ed. Like, I did all the stupid little things. I collected all the stupid flowers.
You hunted all the bears?
I fought the bear with the knife.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And it took a while.
That is a good achievement. That's hard to do.
But I did that. And it was the only Rockstar game I ever did that with. The only achievements I didn't get were the multiplayer ones, because the multiplayer was just a bunch of people shooting you in the back when you were trying to do other stuff.
Oh, wow.
They'd just sneak up. And yeah, and that was the thing. Like, there were big hub areas where people would just mess with you.
Hmm.
And it's kind of Grand Theft Auto.
You're right.
And that's what Grand Theft Auto 5 is. Like, there's heists and things you can do as a team, but you have to have a bunch of friends on at the same time. And I think Red Dead at the time, I was working and going to school, and I was focused on the single player. And by the time I got into the multiplayer, it was not working for me.
Okay. All right.
But I know there's one you're excited for.
I am. Although I do love Western style games. I do like open world games. But this one is a little bit more of the East. It's called Ghost of Tsushima. And it is, I'm hoping to be an open world, like samurai type game.
I'm going to laugh if it's just the next Puzzle Fighter.
I really hope it's not. I really hope it's something good. Because they do good stuff. But, Sucker Punch Studios, they do good stuff.
Sucker Punch.
And
everything Sucker Punch is great.
We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, because I really love. There's I used to play Way of the Samurai, and I think the third one that they did in that series was not up to par with like what they had done before, and I really hope for something that's like that, or if it's going to be like Tenshu, I'll go with that too. I
could tell as soon as you mentioned, what it was that you were excited about, I was like, he's thinking Way of the Samurai, because I knew that was a series that you loved.
I did. I liked the second one, actually. It was kind of an interesting one. And that one was slightly open world, but it only had like a few areas. You could be good, you could be bad. But honestly, I really want something that's in that vein, open world, samurai action. Nobody's really done it, but I could see like a really good open world game like being developed like about that. And I haven't played a good samurai game. Like the last really good samurai game was I think like Onimusha 3.
Oh my gosh.
Which is forever ago.
Hey Capcom, don't forget your good stuff.
I know.
I know you just did Mega Man 11. Mm-hmm. Or you're working on it. But maybe Onimusha.
Yeah. Bring back... they did other ones, but they were never that good.
Or just remaster them.
Yeah. I'd totally go for a remaster. I think they've done remasterings on the first one. On the first one they did, but not like a really good one. And I know they did... Like the second one was slightly open world, like it had a lot of different things you could do in it, but it's still not there yet. But I know that they are remastering another game, that series that I love, series, but Shadow of the Colossus, where I've heard that they've really like upped the graphics, everything on it, like rebuilt it from the the bottom to the top, and I heard it's supposed to be like a really good, using the new engine, like everything.
Not to date this, but that's pretty soon that comes out.
Yeah.
It's like next month.
Right. So
consider this dated.
Right. Consider it dated. And stuff I'm looking forward to, like you said, the Spider-Man game looks good. And like there's some other stuff that's coming down the line that looks good too. Reese Witherspoon the game.
Just imagine a bunch of people like trying to chase down Reese Witherspoon so they can go on a date with her. Like that's just the game design she's got.
Why not?
She's got it. I bet you she's pitched it.
Well,
I bet you there's a mobile phone game out there somewhere.
Well, Kim Kardashian has a game. I'm sure Reese Witherspoon could get her own game.
I don't know.
We'll see. But as always, this was our. Do you have anything else you want to add on?
Nope.
Here?
I'm done talking about Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
I know my limits.
Okay. So, of course, if you have any suggestions for us, of course, you can always message me. I'm at my Instagram's Tim Martinek on Instagram, all one word. We're also, you can now find us, Precarious Pixels, on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel, so if you want to find us on there. Of course, iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker. And you can find Bob on Twitter at
Marton, that's Martin but spelled wrong, _ Bob, B-O-B.
On Twitter. And of course, just hashtag us Precarious Pixels, and we'll of course find you that way as well.
Feel free to tweet how much you hate Reese Witherspoon as well.
If you really want to. She's a fine lady.
I'm sure she's a nice person. She's probably done something good.
I have no idea. I have no idea what Reese Witherspoon is like. Good or bad.
Yeah.
Not Bob's cup of tea.
I can't deal with her.
Okay. So, I hope your 2018 starting off good.
Yeah, with less Reese Witherspoon movies.
Yes, with less Reese Witherspoon in your life.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of hate mail about this one, but who knows?
No, who would? Come on. If they're taking the time to like type on a keyboard,
you're right,
and they know how to operate a computer,
absolutely,
they're not a fan of Reese Witherspoon.
Don't know why I hate her so much. I really don't. But this is me signing off. We'll see you next week. Precarious Pixels.
Bye.
Bye.
To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin, Marton _BOB, on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.